Chris Mills, surfstrengthcoach.com. Want to give you something good. So this morning did a Skype consult with the guys, some low back tensions, etc. Surfing aggravates. So a couple things that you can just start incorporating with your stretching, just to kind of help alleviate this, surfer low back kind of thing. So client, loads of people, me as well, this anterior pelvic tilt, sticking the butt out kind of thing. So it's generally too tight through the lumbar erectors, too tight through the hip flexors, rectus femoris, iliacus, psoas, and so it's all just pulling everything forward, or just pulling the pelvis forward. A lot of compression in the low back, tension, sucks. That's essentially also a paddling position posture. It's lots of extension. So we can loosen that stuff up and just help get everything realigned and kind of stacked more efficiently. It just helps alleviate strains. So first thing, I'm going to run you guys through some stuff. Basic kind of yoga child's pose. Just getting here. Deep breaths. Just hold that position for like 2 minutes or so, 3 minutes, as long as it's comfortable, but for an extended period of time. So think again, surfing, we're here, all this extension. We get into here, and we start getting some lumbar flexion, taking all that extension compression off the vertebrae. When you're in that position, if I was to start to lean more to my right and think of opening up this whole fascial chain, you can start getting more like lat stretch, QL stretch. It's good stuff. So then, tennis ball, your QL muscle. So it's just above the pelvis. Attaches from the top of the pelvis to the lumbar vertebra and also the 12th rib. So think of this little rectangle in the low back. With the tennis ball, just kind of start to lay on it, mash it out, find it's tight. Breathe, deep breaths, breathe into that tension on the ball. You'll be able to find some nasty stuff here. Just kind of fish around. If you've had some serious lumbar spine pathologies, issues, be careful with this a bit. Ask your practitioner if this is something that's beneficial for you. But for the average guy, having some aches, tension, this would be good. So I'm coming up more onto my side now, but the ball is still more towards the back. It's kind of right around here. Mash it out. It's QL stretch, or QL kind of release, lumbar erector release. And so as soon as we finish hitting both sides, we've done the yoga child's pose, we've done some QL release, we then come into just stability ball side stretch and open up this whole lateral chain. You're getting the lateral hips, you're getting the QL, you're getting the obliques, you're getting the lat. Hang out, breathe. Both sides. Big, big inhale, exhales. You want to get into a position where the top leg's hanging, because then that's pulling the pelvis down, pulling the pelvis away from the ribs, stretching the QL. Arm comes up overhead, you're stretching out the lat. So that's hitting that QL and that posterior chain. QL stands for quadratus lumborum, if you're curious. So now, that's the kind of posterior side. Now we want to start getting into the interior hip. So you can foam roll the quad. Think rectus femoris is the muscle. Slow, one leg at a time, about an inch a second. Find a tight spot, kind of come into some pin and stretch movements. Loosens up all that anterior hip structure. You can use a tennis ball as well. And just start mashing stuff out. Some pin and stretch. You also want to hit your muscle called a TFL, tensor fasciae lata. If you come to the front of your hip bone, that's your ASIS. Here is the greater trochanter. So like it's the hip bone, greater trochanter, front of the pelvis. There's a small muscle going from one to the other, TFL. If I internally rotate my leg, you'll feel that muscle turn on and tighten up. That's that TFL. We want to mash that out a bit. This can be a cause of a lot of lateral knee pain, can do a lot of funk with the IT band. The connective tissue from this muscle becomes the IT band, but it can really pull the pelvis into that anterior position. So spend some time. See, it's pretty nasty. And so all these hip flexor muscles, think of the pop-up. It's this quick, dynamic hip flexion action until these all get bound up. So you foam roll the quad, the rectus femoris. You You've tennis ball rectus femoris, you've tennis ball TFL. So now, stretch it. Hold on. Bit of a stretch. Okay. It's pretty much the setup. For some of you guys out here, this is going to suck. All sorts of suck going on right here. So think, for those of us that are already in this anterior pelvic posture, sticking the butt out, we want to tuck the butt under so that we're separating the front of the hip further away from the knee, lengthening those some of the hip flexors, TFL, rectus femoris, and then I'd come up and start hanging out here. So we're getting into your psoas, getting some of the QL again, getting some lat, deep breaths, stretching, deep breathing. So that cycle, in that order, more or less, can be some really beneficial stuff just for getting rid of the whole, my low back, sticking my butt out, cruising around. So yeah, that order, play with it, see what works for you. And all this is great soft tissue work. Again, extension position, you hold it for so long while you're surfing. So we want to get that pelvis back into more of a neutral position. Yeah, give it a go. If you dig my stuff, subscribe on YouTube, surfstrengthcoach.com, go to the website. So much good info. Pick my brain. Let me know what you want to see.